What's up, Shelbs? What's up, Amy? What's going on, everybody? So the man, the myth, the legend, strange live monster. That's what I'm talking about. So hey, man, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna pod. I'm literally stalling for time. David, are we live? I need you to come live on Facebook over here. We're live. Click on Facebook over here for me, Dave, and we're gonna talk about something very interesting. Shout out to you for having your own opinions. I appreciate that, Daniel. Man, I do appreciate that, dude. This is what are my thoughts on the red wave going on in southern Texas. I love this. David, we've got so many people asking great questions. This is David, everybody. Everybody knows David. David's producer. Yeah, we got Wesley. Everybody. Sorry, Wesley.
Phone down.
Phone down. Sorry, Wesley. Hey, David, I still need a ride to the airport. Nancy, we know we have a hard out at 4 o'clock. That's why we're rushing. But then again, you're going to Texas, so, take your time. You're going to regret it as soon as you touch down there. So, hey, what we're going to do, David's going to come. He's going to moderate the questions. I'm going to answer your questions. I got a few things I'm going to say. That's right. David's the producer. And then from Joseph Bono goes, I know David. He's the producer. Yeah, well, I introduced him as David the producer. So that's good. That's good sleuthing there, brother. All right. Nice, man. We're up to 25 people already. Let's go here, David. Are we good? All right, we're good. Let's go. Put this up there and we're good, man. All right, so I'm going to look directly into the camera. What's going on, everybody? YouTube. What's going on, Facebook? What's going on, Instagram? We're what's up, bro?
I don't think this one's live yet. Where's the fucking live on this?
All right, let's just go. Fuck it. We'll put it up on Facebook later. I don't give a shit. All right.
YouTube and Instagram, dude.
Yeah, dude. So this is a crazy day in the news world here. David, you moderate on Instagram for the comments, all right? We're gonna do this every Friday, guys. We don't really have a name for it. It's gonna obviously be my own podcast here, where we go over news topics. We're thinking like something like a weekly wrap up or something like that. If you have an idea for the name of the podcast, let us know, and we'll consider it, because we're fresh out of creativity around here. Speaking of fresh out of creativity, it's the end of the world as we know it, apparently, just like it always is. The once every 10 years the Democrats actually take an L, it's the end of the world. Now, a couple things to know off the bat, all right? I'm going to tell you something people in the media never do. I'm going to tell you my personal biases. Now, I am personally biased when it comes to Roe v. Wade in that I honestly don't give a shit. I know you have to give a shit about everything in this country at all times, but I don't care. I think the pro-life argument makes a lot of sense. I think the pro-choice argument makes a lot of sense. It is in that regard that I personally am what I would consider reluctantly pro-choice. I am pro-choice, but I am not. I don't think that removes people from scrutiny. Like, it's one thing to say abortion should be legal, and it's another thing to say abortion should be subsidized, which it absolutely shouldn't. Nobody should be paying for that outside of you and your partner. And it shouldn't be promoted, I don't believe. I think, personally, being a parent is the absolute, the pinnacle of human existence. There's nothing any of us will do on this planet that is as important as moving our species forward and trying to give our children, our offspring, a better life than we had, which is, frankly, what my parents did for me and what their parents did for them, and that is the most noble endeavor any of us can do. And I feel like our generation is pretty narcissistic. No more narcissistic. No one is more narcissistic than me. Here I am staring into the void, communicating my opinions to the masses. I am a narcissist, there's no doubt about that, but at least I'm cognizant of it. Our lives are not made worse by having a family. Our lives are only improved by having a family. So in that regard, I really wish everybody would see their pregnancies through, and I would encourage them to, but it's not my place to tell them to. Very interesting thing had happened here. How's that? All right, cool. So a very, very interesting thing happened. On Twitter, there was the tyranny of the minority trending. The tyranny of the minority was trending. And when I first saw that, I thought, wow, that is a pretty harsh way to describe the Obama presidency, but, you know, okay, I get it. But the tyranny of the minority. Guys, we are not in a plural democracy. A plural democracy is mob rule. A plural democracy is a bad thing. We keep hearing this over and over and over again. This is a threat to our democracy. This is a threat. We don't have a democracy. Everybody, let's just make sure we're all on the same page here. Everybody knows that we're a constitutional republic, right? Everybody's aware of that? Because I think people actually do think we're a democracy, and I also think they think democracy is a good thing, right? Like, if democracy is such a good thing, then the smartest people will never have the loudest voice. We do understand that, right? It'll just be mob rule. All right, so the tyranny of the minority. And again, let's talk about what Roe v. Wade is, okay? Roe v. Wade did not make abortions illegal. We know the overturning of Roe v. Wade did not make abortions illegal. We do know that, right? Because as I'm seeing AOC lose their minds, and again, here I am pro-choice, and even when I'm on their side on an issue, they can't help but be so overly dramatic and so freaking manipulative. If they are speaking, they are gaslighting. They're just so grotesque at this point. That leftist side of the aisle is so gross. What did Roe v. Wade do? Roe v. Wade said that states can make their own decision. Roe v. Wade made it illegal to make abortions illegal. That's what Roe v. Wade did. Roe v. Wade made it illegal to make abortions illegal. Now, overturning Roe v. Wade does not make abortions illegal. Everybody understands that, right? Just so that we're operating from the same reality. You can still murder that baby in your womb right up into the point where it can start to see the light. It can start peeking its eyes through and see the light. In New York, in New Jersey, in Colorado, you can still go ahead and chop that thing up and vacuum it out and sell it for parts to China like it was an old Toyota. You can still do that, okay? And if you're in Florida or Texas or a more red state and they decide that they're going to make abortion illegal, well, then you have a choice. You have a choice the same way I had a choice. I had a choice as my area of the country became more and more socialist, more and more progressive left, as Jersey City, where I was living, Brooklyn, where I was working, as these places became further and further left, I had to make a decision. And I left. I moved 2,000 miles away from my friends and family to have a life that was more conducive to my worldview. You guys have that opportunity to do the same thing. I'm sorry, I have no compassion. I have no sympathy. You made me make this decision, and now you will have the opportunity to make this decision as well. The thing that I do have some concern about is birth control. As a guy who was a minor league baseball player and a guy who, had really enjoyed his college years, I probably owe a lot to birth control. Although, again, I think birth control is given out to 13-year-olds. I made a whole video on TikTok where I got skewered. It got 2 million views, and they got taken down for misinformation twice, and it was 100% true. I don't think a lot of people know what's in birth control in America. Like, these hormone pills make people crazy. Crazy. I don't want to get off on too far of a tangent here, but imagine we can't take pro athletes taking steroids, which are hormones. We can't handle 30-year-old men taking hormones, but we will let 13-year-old girls microdose hormones every day for 20 years, and we're okay with that? Like anybody who's ever met anybody on Yaz knows that that's a crazy pill. All right, so I have a love-hate relationship with birth control, but again, it's not my place to make it illegal. If it were up to me, heroin would be legal. If it were up to me, there wouldn't be speed limits. So I'm not the guy to, I am never going to fall on the side of regulation. I'm never going to fall on the side of regulation. But I will say, okay, like, everything doesn't have to be an existential crisis. You have a choice. Abortion is not going anywhere in at least 25 of the states. And if it's that important to you, you can move the same way I moved. Okay? This is the beauty of America, the Federation of States, 50 states. Okay? But the left and a lot of the right, all right, they're globalists. They don't even want one nation of rules. They want one world of rules. They want us all under one set of rules, their rules. And this is a blow to them. This is a blow to them in ways that they haven't. When was the last time the globalists lost? When was the last time the globalists took an L? Once every 5 years, 6 years, 7 years? So they don't know how to handle it. And they're going to get violent because every single time the left even sniffs a loss, that's what they do. They get crazy violent. That's why the whole January 6th insurrection, biggest threat to our democracy, it's bullshit. It's bullshit because we saw the riots that happened the entire summer before. We saw the cities burning down. We saw the looting. We saw the people die. And we want to act like January 6th was somehow worse than an entire summer of love, as they called it, the summer of love, where a breakaway nation, Chaz Chop, formed in downtown Seattle. People died. People still haven't recovered. People still aren't going to recover. And now people are calling for compassion. I got so many text messages about my post, and they were like, you have no compassion. You have no sympathy. Sorry. You know what? You're right. I don't. Because for 2 years of my life, my body, my choice was suspended. We suspended my body, my choice for 2 years. Because it wasn't my body, my choice when I had to get stuck with experimental medication, was it? Where were all the my body, my choice people when people were threatened with their jobs to get a jab, then a booster, then a second booster, then a third booster? Now all of a sudden people are dropping dead. Adult onset SIDS. What are they calling it, David? What are they calling it with the long COVID, or people are just, you know, there was something in People magazine, you know, how you know, strokes are on the rise and it's due to climate change. Oh, is that what it is? Oh, people are dying from strokes because of climate change. Yeah. Okay. There's nothing else that maybe happened over the course of the last 2 years that never happened before.
Not a single virus.
Yeah, not a single 1 injection, 2 injection, 3 injection, 4. How many licks above the COVID vaccine does it take to get to the immunity center?
What was that thing that they came out and they said that the guy, some guy from Bayer or something said that it was gene therapy, like the vaccines are gene therapy?
Yeah, it is.
Why aren't we talking about
Dude, how about the fact that in the teeth of this, when they were pushing the second booster, now we're up to 4 boosters, right? And we're in the teeth, when they were pushing the second booster, the CEO of Pfizer was not let into Israel because he was unvaccinated. The CEO of Pfizer was unvaccinated. So, again, you know, be that as it may, regardless, I'm not there for you. I'm not there for you. I'm not an ally because you were not there for me. My body, my choice went out the window. And you can't just turn that, you can't flip that switch back on. Sorry. What if it saves one life? That was another great one during COVID. If it saves just one life. And then the second COVID restrictions are lifted, we send $90 billion to the Ukraine and nothing but bombs. If it saves just one life, it's okay to go bankrupt if it saves just one life. Put on 2 masks if it saves just one life. Oh, COVID's over? 90 billion of bombs to the Ukraine. Burn Russia to the ground. There will be no survivors. If it saves just one life, let me kill the babies in my womb.
That's very Alex Jonesy. If it saves just one American life.
They don't give a shit unless it's a Democratic voter. If it saves just one, watch what happens. I got a prediction. And we're getting a little off topic, but I got a prediction. I give it 5 years. And if the Latino community keeps trending conservative, watch Democrats want to close the borders, southern border.
Ooh.
I got a 5-year prediction for the flip. Right, the drag shows with the kindergartners pushing the Latino community away, heavily Christian community.
Yeah, I see that.
A law and order community also. The Latino community, they did not come over here to have their cities that they're moving to be Juarez. They moved away from crime.
No,
they
exactly,
moved here for opportunity. And if they are in New York, if they're in these places where, you know, these people are getting hacked in the streets and then they're getting let out without bail, you don't do law and order, and if you continue doing the child grooming stuff, Latino community is going to bail on the Democrats. And if that happens, watch how quickly that border becomes a problem. Watch how fast. Mark my words.
We'll see, man. I don't know. I mean, I come from like a Latino family, and yeah, you're definitely right. They don't like all that shit. They don't like the kids at the drag shows and all that. I can definitely see that overturning, but they're also don't like rich people.
Yeah.
So it's like, so Republican again is always painted with like you're the rich and like just oppressive. So it's gonna be kind of hard to break that mold. But I think as
the more of them
oppressive,
become business owners, the less and less they're gonna like taxes. For sure.
Oh, 100%.
But again, like what is different between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party at this point? And let's get into that, because the Republicans fucked up too. Especially in Texas. The Texas GOP, in response to the grooming, overreacted and made they basically put their charter out. They disinvited the log cabin Republicans. Do you know what the log cabin Republicans are?
No, I'm not.
It's the gay lobby. It's gay Republicans. And they're some of the bravest Republicans out there. I mean, I don't know why they're not libertarians. They should just be libertarians. I mean, everybody should be a libertarian. I'm excited. On July 11th, Mickey and I are going to do Legion of Skanks. And I'm excited to see future presidential candidate Dave Smith and ask him a bunch of questions, because the Mises Caucus is doing some exciting things with the Libertarian Party. But again, Roe v. Wade, the hysteria that's going on. Isn't it weird? Isn't it funny how the party of peace, tolerance, and love, everybody has to board up their doors every time they lose? Do you remember after the election, all these cities were boarded up? Do you think that was because they were afraid Trump was going to lose the election? Like, I love how the projection. I love how everything that they project on other people. You know, this is an attack on our democracy. Says the people who locked everybody down, wants to make all the decisions for them. You know, what about Roe v. Wade is bad for somebody already living in a blue state? Can you explain to me how Roe v. Wade affects you if you live in a blue state?
Right.
Just explain it, right? I'm seeing a whole bunch of comments here, man. What question do you want? Let's get, because I got 4 other topics I want to get to, and I know we got a hard out at 4. Let's get to some of the comments. Hey, by the way, people, thanks so much. I can't believe how many people we have going on here, man, on both Facebook and on Insta. This is great. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Cool. Yeah. So we got more so comments than we do questions, but one of them comes from Joseph Buono. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Joe Kent is a good candidate to back. Do you have any opinion on that, Drew?
Joe Kemp?
Probably. It says Joe Kent.
I'm unfamiliar with Joe Kent. Who's Joe Kent?
We should look into him, because apparently he's a great candidate to back.
Okay.
A lot of people just fuck the groomers. We got DVKL.T saying, if they're allowing drag queen clubs to accompany kids with their parents in 7 states, nobody's going to vote Democrat anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's a weird one, man. That's a weird one. That's a weird hill for the Democrats to die on. I have to be honest, because, you know, it's like, and again, it's part of their strategy. The Democrats are the party of yes, and they constantly try to make the Republicans the party of no. So then, if you're the party of no, it becomes easy to point the finger at you and go, oh, you see, this guy hates you, this guy hates you. And in a way, it worked, because look at what they were able to make the Texas GOP do. And if you're in Texas and you know anybody who's gay and you like anybody that's gay, or you got family members that's gay, I mean, at this point, all of us know somebody and love somebody who's gay.
Yeah.
Right? All of us have somebody in our family or a friend that's gay, right? In Texas, now you have to identify with that charter that they put together, saying that homosexuality is an abnormality and that, you know, they don't deserve any acknowledgement under the law. And now you have to be like, hey, look, man, I love you, bro, but you believe in that Republican stuff, and it's like, no, I just really don't like taxes, but so they paint him into a corner,
Right.
and so the Democrats keep saying yes, 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 but again, at some point there has to be like, maybe having and now I had somebody on my Facebook who's been a follower of mine for years, gay guy, talk about how he was disappointed I was anti-drag shows, being a libertarian, and I'm like, bro, I'm not anti-drag shows.
Right.
I'm anti-children at drag shows. That's more for the parents. Okay, number one.
What's the issue with a kid going to a drag show? Because I've been to a couple drag shows with my girlfriends, and it's just
it's hypersexualized. The fact that the kids are putting dollars inside of adults' panties or whatever you want to call them. The fact that it's interactive, I don't like. The fact that it says it's not going to lick itself as right in front of the kid. But again, you're a parent. Well, dude, I was a bouncer at a strip club. I'm the furthest thing from a prude.
Right.
I bounced at the strip club. Right. If you couldn't walk in with your fucking 8-year-old to the club and be like, I just want to get my kid some culture.
Right, but a drag
That's not the way it works.
A drag show is way different than a strip club.
First of all, they're not all the same. There are varying degrees.
Most drag shows are like lip syncing and dancing.
That's nonsense. That's nonsense.
It's true.
I've been. That's nonsense. I've been to drag brunches in the city where they had, they would give away prizes. It was drag brunch bingo, and they'd give away prizes. You win a dildo. They'd have.
Did you see any kids at that one?
No, I didn't. But
there you go.
That's the point. The point I'm trying to make is that there's the delineation is the children.
Well, is there maybe a thing where there's like, this is a 21 and up. This one is kind of a family one.
Yeah. Also, maybe don't have it compulsory in schools.
Okay.
Like, hey, kids, we're doing a strip.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, we're taking a field trip to a drag show in New York City. Yes, bro.
Oh, yikes.
Taxpayers subsidized. That's what, come on. So again, you want, it's very interesting to me, the hypocrisy of the moment. This is the number one thing. And here's your short clip coming up, David.
Okay, I'll make a note of it.
America on both sides, completely full of shit. Americans love murder. They don't care. They don't care about murder.
Right.
I learned this on the Sammy Gravano interview on the PBD podcast.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. I agree.
You were there.
Yeah.
And Sammy Gravano is regaling us with tales of his murders. The man is a serial killer. Very charismatic. I sat there and I'm sitting here and having lunch with the guy, working with the guy on Mafia States. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I like this guy. This guy's interesting. This guy's cool. And then I have to come to grips with wait a minute. This guy killed 19 people. Like, this guy's a murderer. And Sammy defends himself with, I was a soldier in a war. If I had killed 19 people for the American government, they'd have given me a gold star. And he's right. They would have. Right? Every single Republican right now screaming about murdering babies and cheering for Roe v. Wade celebrated Kyle Rittenhouse as a hero.
Oof. Say that one more time for the people in the back.
Every single Republican that is cheering Roe v. Wade and calling those in support of abortion murderers championed Kyle Rittenhouse as a hero. Kyle Rittenhouse, in self-defense, killed 2 people, and he got a parade for it from the Republicans.
Right.
All right? How many bombs, how many millions of kids did we kill in the Middle East thanks to George W. Bush, Dick Cheney? Obama's no different.
Right.
Obama won a Nobel Peace Prize, and he droned hospitals. We're so full of shit. We are so full of shit. So it was amazing to me listening to the Sammy Gravano, and this is when the light went off with me. He's talking about him assassinating the mob boss, Johnny Keys.
Right.
Incredible story. And he drops an N-bomb in the middle of the story. Remember that?
I remember that.
Hard R.
Hard R. We all looked at each other.
And everything stopped. And every comment was like, wait a minute, is this guy a racist? Did Sammy Guevara just use the N-word? He's a racist. And we're sitting here and all of us are like DEFCON 5, like, what do we do? What do we do? Just power through it. And it occurred to me in that moment, to America at large in 2022, it is worse to be considered a racist than a murderer.
You had this conversation with a waitress at a bar. There was a night that we went out. Gerard actually went out. He kept asking people, "Was like, what's worse, being a racist or a murderer?" And everyone was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, it's way worse to be a murderer.
It's way worse to be a murderer.
Is it? Are you positive?
Yeah. Wow. Mic drop. Do you want to go? I got some to lighten the mood a bit. Some people are suggesting names for the podcast.
Go for it.
So we got. Here's a really good one I like. It comes directly from, oh man, where is it? I just had it. It was Gerard. It's Joseph Buono again. It's Gerard spits facts and the left swallows. Democrats swallow.
That's a great tag right there.
John said, name the podcast David and Friends, which I'm a fan of. We got some other ones. Uncancelable.
All right.
Not bad.
A little verbose, a little tough on the old tongue there.
Yeah, Joseph Buono said, I saw Roe v. Wade at UFC 174.
Nice. Nice. It's a good one.
And that's about it that we have.
I thought Roe was carrying his hands a little low myself.
Raul, our guy, Raul Manad said,
Hey.
love you guys. One and only Gerard, one of my fave people, a true patriot. And Miss David, too, the voice of God.
Gentlemen, we're live.
Here's gentlemen, we're live. Here's my question: how bad does how bad does it have to get before it gets better in the USA?
Okay.
Oof, that's a good one.
That's a tough one. All right. How bad does it have to get before it gets better in the USA? I don't think they want it to get better, frankly. Things are not bad. That's one of the things that's the biggest paradox about this. This is going to be one of the hardest things to explain to our grandkids, should we be lucky enough to have them one day. They're going to look at us and they're going to say, there was less war than ever before in the history of humanity. There was less poverty. There was less illiteracy. There was less hunger. How did you guys blow it? Things are great. And the truth is that these revolutionaries are trying to destroy us from the inside to create, for lack of a better term, a new world order. The World Economic Forum, see, one of the biggest issues that we have, and this is one of the things that's driving this Roe v. Wade problem, we don't feel like we're on the same team anymore. And what I mean, when I say we, I mean us, Americans. It doesn't feel like the people who are personally invested. It seems like there's three people in America today. There are the people who really, really care about politics from the right side. They really care about politics from the left side, and then there's people who don't care about politics or are just done with it. And those people in the middle are the people I feel the worst for, because I was one of them. I was in government. I was in politics. I wanted to be left alone. I left it. I was like, these are a bunch of rats. These are a bunch of clowns. These are some of the most self-serving, arrogant, narcissistic people in the world. But now it's everywhere. You can't watch a basketball game without political messaging. You can't buy a pack of Skittles without political messaging. So there is no avoiding it. It's everything, and it's all encompassing. So how do things get better, Raul? It's a great, Raul. I don't think that they do, unfortunately, because I think that it's being torn down on purpose. I think they're looking to rip us apart because they want to control us globally. And there are people really right now, it's not Republican versus Democrat, it's the people who demand control versus the people who demand freedom. And that's going to be an issue for us moving forward, right? Because Alexander Solzhenitsyn, somebody sent this to me, and it was phenomenal. You know, obviously I'm a big fan of the Gulag Archipelago. It's probably the most, powerful book, most influential book I've ever read. Alexander Solzhenitsyn said, God fear the man who just wanted to be left alone. And that's the truth. When people just wanted to be left alone and you refuse to leave them alone, you're already killing them. You're killing the life that they had. You're killing the life that they could have had. And you're forcing them to fight back. So if it ever gets to that point where you take people away from the life that they tried to live and you take them away from the people and you force them to risk it all, there's no coming back from that. Then we're in a situation where, all right, now there's two sides and there's battle and there's conflict. I think it's getting worse, not better. We're creating parallel economies. There are businesses that will only hire people that have their political worldview. There are, and listen, this is just the fact of the matter. This is coming from the left, not the right. Anybody who's ever been in a left area, and this is something where a lot of people, when I lived in Texas, they didn't believe me. And when I lived in Florida, they didn't believe me. And when I say they, I mean Democrats in Florida, Democrats in Texas. They think, oh, you're full of it, because they grew up in right-leaning places, so they kind of always felt a little bit ostracized. And I would tell them, go up to my neck of the woods, go out to LA, and try to be the rightest person in the left side of the room, and watch how they treat you. They ostracize you. They will completely and totally make it uncomfortable for you. They don't want to do business with you. They don't want you in their worldview. Listen, we lived through COVID where a lot of us finally realized that many of these people would have rathered we die than them be wrong. They would rather that we die than their politicians be wrong. These people they believe in this with a religious fervor. And that's an absolute problem, Raul. So if you try to have a political conversation with somebody that's religious in nature, it's not going to go well. So I think that this devolves further. And how do things start getting better? Pain, unfortunately. Unfortunately, there has to be a pain threshold that we just never seem to hit, whether it's monetarily, whether there's talks of actual secession. I don't know what it is, but there's a pain threshold that we have not hit. There's perspective that we have not gained to change the status quo. And the left keeps winning. So why would they stop doing what they're doing? Every time they march, they win. They weren't punished for burning cities down. They were rewarded for it. They gained the presidency through intimidation. And still, even now, how many rioters are in jail? Everybody from January 6th is in jail. There's entire commissions about January 6th. There's not a single commission about anything. Does anybody even know that there was an assassination attempt against Brett Kavanaugh? Does anybody even know? We're playing by two sets of rules. Right now, we're playing by two sets of rules. We have two sets of cultures. And Oliver Wendell Holmes once said, David, pull this up for me. Oliver Wendell Holmes quote. I believe it's, I want to get it correct because it's a great quote. It's
Oliver Wendell Holmes?
Oliver Wendell Holmes. He was actually a Supreme Court justice. And I believe, to paraphrase, he essentially said, when you have two opposing viewpoints, unwilling to compromise, there's no outcome but violence. And unfortunately, I think that's kind of where we're headed. How that manifests itself, I don't know. And I think it'll take years. But once there's parallel economies, that's it. Once we have no incentive to trade with one another, once we have no incentive to play nice in the sandbox, the country as we know it is over. Right now, what
Oh, yeah. Here, between two groups of people who want to make inconsistent kinds of worlds, I see no remedy but force.
Yeah,
Oliver Wendell Holmes.
One more time.
Between two groups of people who want to make inconsistent kinds of worlds, I see no remedy but force.
There you go.
Yikes.
And that's kind of where we're at. And he said that just prior to the original Civil War, the OG Civil War. What is bringing us together as a nation right now? What brings us together? Do we have a common culture?
No. We don't even have a common enemy.
Do we have a common enemy?
Technically we do, but
who?
I don't know. China, Russia, the obvious ones. But that's why I say technically, because we do, but other people don't think so.
No, there's a lot of people. Whether they want to admit it or not, they were very much pro-Russia.
Yeah.
During the Steele dossier when they thought it would bring down Trump.
Yeah.
Now they're anti-Russia. And
Also, I mean, you would think that something
they're
like
definitely
COVID.
not anti-China.
You think that something like COVID would be a common enemy, right?
No.
Well, yeah, at the beginning, like COVID on paper should be a common enemy.
Because dude, but here's the thing. Why isn't our government our common enemy? Why is it not? Be it Trump, be it Biden, why is DC not our common enemy? They've been lying to us for years.
Yeah,
They've been stealing from us. The theft that goes on. I went on this whole rant the other day, and keep me cognizant of the time.
Yeah.
That's insane. People were arguing about, we're always arguing about gay rights. We're arguing about, race, immutable characteristics. Do you know the brilliance? Do you understand the brilliance of the manipulation at play here? That they're making us argue with one another about shit we cannot change. We cannot change it. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. They have us arguing about shit that happened 200 years ago.
Yeah.
We cannot change it. They have us arguing about skin color. Cannot change it. Have us arguing about gender. Well, I guess you can change it. They got us arguing about shit that we cannot control. It's insane. And all the while we're arguing with each other about shit we cannot control and cannot change, another billion goes here. Another billion goes there. Another billion goes here. Inflation goes through the roof. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, now they're suspending the gas tax. What did we need the gas tax for? If we don't need that money, why is it being taxed? If we don't need the money, why are you taking it from us? If we didn't need the guns, right? That was what we were told in the botched withdrawal. Doesn't the Afghanistan withdrawal feel like it was 10 years ago already? You understand that was like 18 months ago?
Yikes, dude. It's been a long year.
It's been a long 10 years this last year. I tell you what.
Yeah.
$90 billion we left for the Taliban behind. 90 billion taxpayer dollars. Nobody can afford gas. Nobody can afford groceries. When was the last time you bought groceries, man?
Dude, yeah, last week. What used to be about, $60? Now it's like 120 something.
More, maybe, yeah, depending on if God forbid you get beef.
No.
God forbid.
We're talking about great value items here.
Yeah, we're talking about we're not buying filet mignon,
Hell
dude.
no.
Yeah, I'm drinking Diet Right from
Dude.
the Walmart.
Dude, honest to God, the bag of chicken I buy for the week, great value chicken, and it's gone up in price.
Yeah.
Like, I told Nancy about it, and she's like, dude, don't eat that stuff. I'm like, I can't afford the good stuff,
Yeah.
dude. It went up.
Yeah, you will own nothing and be happy. So we're supposed to worry about this. I'm supposed to worry about Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
We're supposed to worry about race. We're supposed to worry about gender. We're supposed to worry about sexuality. Oh, but by the way, another $500 million goes to the Ukraine for mid-range missiles. But it's okay, guys, because Ben Stiller, super crazy war over there in the Ukraine where Ben Stiller can go have dinner with the president. Super nuts going on over there. Something weird, man.
Yeah.
And the World Economic Forum, remember when we talk about the PBD podcast, man? Remember when we had Matt Zeller on?
I do remember Matt Zeller.
And this is something I wanted to talk about, but Pat moved to another topic, I thought, too quickly. And Matt Zeller talked about
The New World Order.
Yeah. And I literally looked at it. I was like, this dude just admitted it. This dude was in the CIA. He ran for Congress, and he's like, yeah, well, nationalism's stupid. We need to move to global federalism. And I'm like, you just described the New World Order. And he looked at me like I was crazy. Like, yeah, what do you mean? So this is the part of it that I don't think people understand. When I've been posting about this, if you've been following me, you know I've been posting about it.
I got some questions for it too, by the way.
All right. When people that are really smart do seemingly stupid things over and over and over, how long will it take people until they realize these smart people are doing these stupid things on purpose? Right? They want the New World Order. The Democrats don't care. And a lot of the Republicans, the Mitch McConnell, Dick Cheney, George Bush Republicans, they want the New World Order too because they think they're going to run it. They don't care about American citizens anymore because they're getting their money from the globalists. They want the one world government because they are arrogant enough to think they're gonna run it.
Yeah.
This is like the scene from The Dark Knight Returns, right?
Right.
Well, no, Dark Knight Rises. No, The Dark Knight Rises, right? Where the you know the scene I'm talking about.
Well, no. What scene are you talking
So in the Dark Knight Rises, the bad guy, the corporate white guy, goes, wait a minute, I'm in charge here. And then Bane just puts his hand on him.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel in charge? That's what China's going to do. When one of our politicians goes over there, and they're used to dealing with law and order, they're used to dealing with, an angry press and Twitter fingers that do nothing, and Xi Jinping disappears people, disappears Jack Ma, they're going to be like, yeah, you feel in charge? So we're getting sold out right now. And that's the only way to put it. We're getting sold out. And we are like kittens with a freaking laser pointer against the wall. Oh no, it's about abortion. It's about race. It's about these things. It's an attack on you. And meanwhile, $90 billion goes to their war chest.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Prices here become unaffordable. BlackRock, Zillow, they're buying up all the housing. Selling it to them. Do you know what's going on with that?
They're buying up all the housing.
So check it out. Let's say that there's 10 houses on a block.
Yeah.
They'll buy the first 5, $350,000. Just buy it outright.
Boom.
Boom. The fourth one, they'll buy above sticker. Let's say the guy's asking for $360. They'll pay $420.
Okay.
Whoa, yeah, I'll take that. Guess what? Guess what the price of every house in that block now is?
$420.
$420.
Ah.
So then they buy the next one, $420, $420, $420. Then they buy the 10th one. Guess what? How much? $520. Holy shit, $520. Yeah, you can have the house. Now, what are all 10 houses worth?
Son of a bitch.
$520.
Davey no likey.
So what happens to the people who took that $320? I'm rich, bitch. Except now the houses in your neighborhood cost how much?
Yeah. Fucking double the price that they started at.
Yeah, brother. You will own nothing and be happy.
Yeah. All right, let's see. We got on YouTube, we got Trollo Police saying, do a video on the NYS SCOTUS decision, bruh.
SCOTUS?
SCOTUS.
Oh, yeah, for the guns? Again, guys, hey, listen, don't like abortions? Don't have one. Don't want guns? Don't buy one. Like, what? Like, it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me. With everything going on in the world where people can be like, I have the right to, and it's always the tiniest people too, man. I've said this story so many times, but I'll keep saying it. There was a comedian who was holding court at a comedy club in New York where I got banned from because I had a couple too many. This is back in my whiskey days, and I wasn't able to keep my mouth shut. And she's talking about evil white people this and, guns that, blah, blah, blah. And now, we either got to ban guns or ban white men, one or the other. That was like her bit. And I'm like, okay. Finally afterwards, I'm like sitting there and I go, let me ask you a question. Serious question. What's a more likely scenario? That I would need a gun to kill you or that you would need a gun to stop me? Like, what's the whole
power move from Michael?
your entire life, you need to bless guns for your entire life. The fact that you're able to have the loud, obnoxious opinions that you have are because you don't think anything will ever happen to you because of the recourse if something happened to you. You understand? Like, you are living under this idea of I can do whatever I want and you're not going to do anything to me because I'll tell on you, because I'll go to jail. Like, dude, liberal women getting a little bit big for their britches. They're going to start this civil war, but I wonder if they're going to be the ones fighting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to catch a lot of shit for that, but I don't care. Liberal women will get right in someone's face. It's an aggressive move after telling people for 2 years that you can't assume anybody's gender. But then you want to get in somebody's face. If you act like a man, God forbid you get treated like a man. God forbid. So what happens if some 5'4", 120-pound pink hair, with the septum ring decides they're gonna push into you with their sign? Do you smoke them with a right? How dare you hit a woman? Well, what's a woman? You guys told who am I to assume your gender? I would never. It would have been inequality for me not to punch you in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never be a bigot. And as we talked about before, what did the Sammy Gravano What making you uncomfortable? You're sneezing. What did the Sammy Gravano interview teach us? We don't care about violence. We care about bigotry.
Hell yeah.
You could be as violent as you want. Just don't be a bigot. So, start punching these people in the face, folks. How dare you treat them differently for just having a feminine appearance? That's bigotry, okay? We're looking for a world of androgyny, okay? You cannot assume anybody's gender. Like Ellen Page, or what's his name now?
Elliot.
Elliot Page. If Elliot Page throws a punch at you,
Yes.
is it carte blanche to beat the shit out of Elliot Page?
Dude, if Ellen Page threw a punch at me, I'd beat the shit out of her.
Oh man, not now. I believe you're Latin. All right.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see what we got here. We got oof, man, these usernames get the Colosso Clout. Never heard the housing
Yeah,
market.
good guy.
Never heard the housing market broke down like that. We got a lot of keep the beards, Gerard.
Yeah, the beard will come back. The beard will come back.
Give it a second. We got let's see what else. I think that's all for just right now. Sad that there is only 17 people on here when there should be hundreds.
There will be. There will. You guys will be in at the beginning. At the beginning. Actually, guys, I got to tell you, the fact that there's 20 people on after an hour is like super dope. I appreciate each one of you guys for tuning in. We'll do this every Friday. We'll do a recap every Friday. I wanted to talk about...
someone's asking your opinion on trigger laws certain states have.
Trigger laws certain states have? Meaning what?
Yeah. Strange line monster, if you're still on, if you want to elaborate on that, trigger laws.
Yeah. I don't particularly know what they're talking about there. I know that one thing I saw this morning was airplane complaints are up 319% this year.
Why?
Because airplanes suck.
Yeah.
I have not taken...
Yeah, they're flying you through the fucking sky.
Yeah,
Sorry.
dude. Yeah, oh yeah. Thanks, Louis C.K. Thanks, Louis. So...
Airplanes suck. Yeah, let me just...
Yeah, but dude, it's gotten so bad. They don't take off on time. The service is terrible. Everybody's angry.
They're flying you through the air.
No, but dude, it's more than that. It's an indicator, right? How bad, it's not just the airplane industry, although the airplane industry is probably the worst because between the unions, they don't have to do shit that they don't want to do. Everything's taking off poorly. I mean, my bag, I just came back from LaGuardia. My bag looks like it went through WrestleMania. My bag has cracks, bruises. I'm like, why does it have white streaks on it? Like, what happened here?
They're fucking your bag.
They're just out there, just beasted my bag, dude. Like, and I got like a Kevlar bag now. So like, I'm like, my bag is like ready for earthquake impact. But all customer service, two things have happened since COVID. Customer service has gone to shit. The fact that you can't call a place up anymore, now they're still like, due to COVID-19, we're experiencing high. No, you're not. No, you are not. Okay? No, you're not, Verizon. No, you're not. Knock it off. And the other thing is that the no-touch checkouts. Have you seen this from Clover? Like you go in anywhere and they just turn the screen and then you swipe your own card everywhere. They don't take your card.
Oh, that's hilarious. Wasn't that Apple Pay?
Yeah. So, but now everything has a tip register on it.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to look these people in the eye as they turn around after making me an acai bowl. And I'm like, am I supposed to give this dude 20% for making the bowl?
Well, you're giving the whole team a tip.
Bro, I went to a place this morning. It didn't have a 15% or an 18% option. It had 20%, 25, 35,
Get
or
out.
custom. I was like, you poured me a coffee. How much? Dude, I love the working man. I love anybody who works for a living. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
you hand me a beer. You hand me a beer. I'm supposed to give you $2
Every time.
every single time. Can I have the option of pouring my own beer? I'll do it.
You were just bitching about having to swipe your own card.
That's what, how am I paying more to do work? How am I paying? And dude, and then I saw the lines at Walmart. There's one checkout person at Walmart. Everything else is self-checkout. And I'm like, why are people not rioting? We're paying the same amount of money to do more work.
You got to tip the cashier at the end.
Bro, then I was watching them at the Walmart, and I see like, okay, now I realize why people they're just stealing everything. They are stealing, and it's like the old Bugs Bunny, one for you, one for me, two for you, two for me. You know, it's like I don't have it in me. I'm a punk. I don't have it in me to sit there and like be able to just like put the steaks in the bag without like ringing it. I wish I could do like Michael Winslow. Yeah. Remember the dude from Police Academy?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Yeah, the sounds.
you know.
Oh man, or ringing up. What is it? Those memes where it's like the guy out at the Walmart door seeing my receipt. What is it? I registered my PS5 as a steak or something. I scanned my PS5 as a tomato.
That's great.
Yeah, man. Last night, Nancy and I went to go see Theo Vaughn at the Hollywood Hard Rock here, and we waited in line for a water bottle, and the fucking tip thing came up. And I did custom 0 because it was just a fucking water bottle.
Yeah.
Dude did a 180 and handed me a water bottle. I'm supposed to give you 18%.
Yeah.
I hit 0 and I felt bad.
Yeah, they look at you.
I felt guilty.
They look at you.
I know,
dude. And then, dude, there's tips for things you would have never tipped before either. Like, I got an oil change, and I've got an oil change, and I'm doing the Clover. And as I'm swiping, it's before it's even done. And I'm like, first of all, why am I tipping people before it's done? How did I even know you did a good job here? Like,
what?
Dude, it always has it. It always has it on there. Like, it always has it.
You're a dentist now. You're going to go and get your fucking... I got to turn over the iPad and get your fucking...
It really is Mafia States of America. Hey, here's a little something for the family. Hey, here's a little something for the kids. Here's a little something. Yeah, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. If I got to pay $5 for the cup of coffee, your salary is included. It's a 17-cent drip coffee. Help me out here, man. Anyway. Let's wrap this thing up, man. We got any more questions before we wrap it up? Thank you guys so much, man. If you guys like it, let people know. We're gonna do this every Friday. We're gonna wrap up the week every Friday around. Today we went at 3 o'clock. I kind of like that Friday at 3 o'clock. That's noon West Coast, 3 o'clock East Coast. We'll do it every Friday at 3 o'clock, man. I got a whole bunch of new shows with Carolyn Miljavik and a couple on my own. I'm gonna be in Long Island on July 1st. You guys should check that out. That's next week. With that show tonight. If you guys like this, man, comment, like, share. I appreciate all that stuff matters. You know, I know it's corny to hear it, but all that stuff matters. The world is not ending, folks, but the world is moving in a poor direction. The shit is hitting the fan because we keep throwing shit into the fan. This is the type of stuff where we are 100% in control of our own destiny, but we have to get loud. We have to get loud because the globalists are loud. The globalists are loud. And the thing is, people, you don't want to say anything because God forbid somebody hears what you have to say. But for the one person that hears you and doesn't like it, there's 10 other people that agree with you. You're a reasonable person, and they need to know that they're not alone, and they need to know that, you guys are feeling the same things that they are because you're not crazy, right? And our government's in big trouble. Our government's in big trouble because they're bought and they're paid for. They don't care about us anymore. I know that with every fiber of my being. They're not whatever little bit they ever cared about us, at least they still feared us a little bit. They don't fear us at all anymore. They are all in on the global takeover. That's where all their money is. Remember, Joe Biden's son wasn't making money in Iowa. Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, wasn't laundering deals even in North America. He wasn't in Canada. He wasn't in Mexico. He was in China. He was in the Ukraine. This is where all their money is, guys. All the money is coming from the UN, the CCP, the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, the Paris Accord. Billions and billions and billions of our dollars being funneled to these guys. And it's global. A leftist just took over in Colombia. An actual guerrilla, a terrorist took over. Everybody was celebrating that Macron lost the majority in France, except when they found out he lost the majority to a far-left socialist group. What's happening in Canada is very, very sad. Trudeau got that entire country on a bullet train left. something's going to have to shake out here, folks. You're going to lose your freedom if you don't fight for your freedom. Your kids are not going to grow up in the world that you grew up in. They're not going to have access to the prosperity that we had access to if we don't start doing our jobs. And I believe the biggest tool we have is ridicule. While it's still legal to be an asshole, you should take all advantage of it that you possibly can. You wouldn't believe, we're still, at the end of the day, we are a tribal peoples. And nobody likes to be an idiot. Nobody likes to feel like they're an idiot. And part of what is known as a feedback loop is ridiculing people for making stupid choices and dumb decisions. Ridicule the hell out of these people. Ridicule people for being, hyperventilating over things that don't affect them. Ridicule people for thinking they deserve special treatment just for how they were born. Ridicule people for putting themselves and their cult and their worldview above their neighbors. Above the fact that anybody who thinks that their worldview needs to be forced on other people is worthy of your ridicule. What's up, Dave? Cool? All right, man. I think that'll about wrap it up. Do we have anything else?
No, we're good.
Any more comments? All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it, guys. This was fantastic. Once again, I'm Gerard Michaels for Detective Dullite David Para. We're going to do this once a week. We'll come up with a name for it. Love you guys. If you liked it, please comment, please like, please share, and please follow. All right? We're out of here. Peace.